So you had some interesting thoughts in the panel this morning.
Yeah.
You were harsh on some of the companies, and you liked some of the ones that weren't everyone else's favorites.
Yeah.
You know, what was your sort of 50,000-foot view of the companies you saw?
Well, first off, I kind of have an allergic reaction to companies that are trying to find a market that they don't really have any conviction. You know, great example, the company that's, I forget the name, that was pursuing the Hallmark card kind of,
Yeah.
you know, Evite opportunity. I don't really care whether they succeed or not. They're not moving the ball forward in any significant way. You know, the Oscar Wilde reference I made was to his quote about fox hunting: the unspeakable in pursuit of the inedible. You know, so I shouldn't say this on the record.
No, it's too late now.
No.
Like, I'll be a jerk too. I couldn't stand that company. I think that Evite is a really old technology and it needs to be updated, but I don't think that's the way you do it. I don't think just by saying, wrapping in a flag of clean tech and going green suddenly makes doing wedding invitations online a viable business.
Not to mention his very sexist remarks, you know.
Yeah, and that it's going to get you laid and like.
I was like, give me a break.
I mean, that's.
So, you know, I like things that, you know, take a hard problem and in some ways advance the state of the art. I'm also a sucker for things that are on a big trend. Like the reason why I liked, affective interfaces, was that whether they get it right or not, you know, they're looking at where technology is going, and there's no question in my mind that we are starting to automate a lot of the things with computers that are a lot more like what we do with our own brains. You know, we're sitting there. I mean, you know, if you've looked at image recognition in iPhone or Picasso, you know, face recognition is getting pretty decent. You know, and you know, so then they're adding an extra element to that. Can we tell the mood? You know, and you know, whether they get it right or not, they're moving in the right direction. They're pursuing a future that's going to let us build better tools.
Right.
You know, and so to me, a lot of startups, you know, most startups fail. And the interesting startups that fail are ones that enrich the soil that everybody else is going to be able to innovate from. The uninteresting ones that fail were, you know, they're kind of like, well, we gave a lot of fertilizer and you know, we got too much of the wrong kind of growth, and now our soil's all out of whack, right? You know, and they don't even do any good when they fail. Right. You know, whereas there's a lot of things I really like. Changing and shaping the way people think. You know, you know, I remember in high school I took one of those aptitude tests and it said I was suited to be a preacher, and that's really kind of a lot of what I'm really trying to do. You know, I really do believe that what's really interesting is to make this a better world. And I think technologists are engaged in doing that. Now, a lot of the technologists who are engaged in doing that are not thinking about making money. You know, and I've spent a lot of my career around the edges of, you know, of the money-making part of the computer industry. And even though I am, you know, we have a venture capital fund, I'm not really suited to be a VC. I sometimes tell a story of a Sesame Street episode I saw when my kids were little, in which the Cookie Monster is, he wins a game show and he has to pick his prize, and behind door number 1 is, you know, $1 million, behind door number 2 is a chateau in France, and behind door number 3 is a cookie. You know what she picks. And I'm sitting there and go, yeah, that's a really good business, but hey, this is the cookie, come on, this is the cookie. And you know, so for me right now, the whole government thing is the cookie. I feel like, wow, we have this amazing opportunity with, you know, Obama coming into office on the wave of social media, you know, bringing people in who are, you know, trying to implement best practices of technology. I go, wow, there's an opportunity right now to make a difference. And we have a couple of years in which this stuff is either going to become real, or it's going to be, oh yeah, we did that, didn't work, or, you know, become subsumed in the regular business of Washington. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'll end up making a business out of that, but what really excites me is making something good happen. You know, so like when I'm able to get some hacker in to talk to the right people, and you know, there's a new connection made between, you know, somebody who's not trying to sell the government anything, but just trying to make something good happen. That's joyous for me.